Plaintiff Angel Locklear says shortly after she started dating the defendant, she discovered that she was pregnant with his baby. Angel claims over time the defendant became addicted to OxyContin, and he became so violent that he vandalized her car and busted out the car windows with his bare hands. Angel's suing for the value of her car. Defendant Matthew Hubbard says when Angel found out she was pregnant, she admitted that she didn't know who the father was because she'd recently slept with her ex. Matthew claims Angel was constantly threatening to keep his unborn child from him, and he's countersuing for harassment.
Start with you.
Me and Matthew began dating at the beginning of this year. Shortly after that, I found I was pregnant. Shortly after that was when he was involved in an accident in the Army, and he had some surgery done. He was prescribed some OxyContin. Later, he ended up abusing the OxyContin and drinking alcohol and taking the pills on top of it. He started to get very bad with it. He started sending me text messages. He would call me with voicemails. At one point, he told me that he hopes he stresses me out so bad that he hopes to have a miscarriage. Later, he would call me on times and tell me that he was beating my car. He ended up keying up the tent. He beat the dashboard. He tore up my stereo system. He punched the side of the door and left a big dent. On the other side of the door, he had broken one of the windows. And at that time was when he went to MUSC to take some anger management classes because the anger had gotten so bad.
Okay, you want to give me some background, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. When she called me and told me that she was pregnant, she actually was calling me crying because she actually didn't know who the father was at the time because she did sleep with the guy, her ex-boyfriend she was living with at the time. After August 6th, she went to the doctors, and the doctors went ahead and explained to her that around the conceivement, the baby was mine. At the start of everything, when we started dating, she started sending me text messages about how I'd never see my unborn child anytime we would fight, or how she would go ahead and say she was going to sleep with her ex-fiance or ex-boyfriend or whatever. And here's actually some of the text messages right here.
Let's see it. Ma'am, did you send these text messages?
Thanks.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you left that out when you were talking about all his text messages to you. Go ahead.
After hearing all this, at the same time, my unit's deploying. Actually, they're leaving this week. A bunch of my guys are.
Thanks for your service, by the way.
Thank you, Your Honor. Here I'm trying to deal with that, trying to decide whether or not they're going to deploy me or not, because I just recently had ankle surgery. And with the prescription pills, if any time the Army feels like you're abusing them, they will send you to an ASAP class, which I've not attended, or they will drug test you and make sure that that's the only prescription pills you're taking, and they can decide how much you're taking by drawing blood as well. At no point did my sergeant ever feel that he needed to do that.
Okay. Let me get back to her. Ma'am, was he ever violent with you other than with the car that you're suing him about?
No, sir, not towards me, but there was an incident where he'd come over to my roommate's house and he had gotten mad because we weren't going to spend time together that night. He had got one of the candles and threw it against the wall and broke the candle into pieces. He also went outside, he threw a chair and ended up hitting my mom's car that was outside.
That's also one of the nights that she again threw the baby in my face and said that at that point it was her ex-boyfriend's.
You want to tell me what happened?
Well, Your Honor,
you
on October 10th was the accident. I was on my way to my second job. I also work as a bouncer.
Did she loan you her car? Let's start there.
Yes, Your Honor. Back in July, we switched vehicles. I have a 2004 GMC Canyon that Miss Locklear still has and still drives. Like I was saying, I was on my way to my second job as a bouncer. And at the time, me and Miss Locklear were arguing. Called her back, and then that's when she started throwing in my face again, well, I'm going over my ex-boyfriend's house. You're never going to see the baby, and all this other stuff. So I went ahead and just hung up the phone. But at the time, my mind was so off on this whole thing with the baby that I ended up losing control of the vehicle and crashed into a pole.
Go ahead, ma'am. You tell me what the facts are.
The damages that was done to the car, my cars were $6,500.
Okay.
They only give me $4,200 for the simple fact of all the damage that was caused.
The insurance?
My insurance company.
Okay.
They give me $4,200 because of all the damage that was previously done to my car before the incident. They had paid off my lien holder, which was $3,100, and I got a $370 payment.
Sir, do you have a legal defense to not paying for the car?
Well, Your Honor, after the accident, I was constantly on the phone with the auto body shop, trying to find out what, if I could go down there, because it wouldn't let me explain what actual damages were done because of the year, make, model of the car. She didn't want to get it totaled out. So Ms. Locklear told me that if the only way I can make this up to her is find her same car. So I went online after the vehicle was totaled,
Let me see it.
This is a receipt from a dealership and this is also a copy of the loan that I got on the 16th. After we found out that the vehicle was totaled, I went and got a loan out and took $200 of my own money and went and put a down payment on a 1998 Acura RL. Everything was the same with the vehicle. Had the leather seat, had leather seats, had the sunroof, but didn't have the heated seats.
You gave it to her?
No, I didn't put it down because when she found out that it didn't have the heated seats, she did not want the vehicle.
Well, it wasn't the same. Ma'am, do you have the evidence of how much it cost? Ma'am, did you want to speak?
Yes, sir, I do.
Come on up. State your name. Stand up.
Thank you. My name is Teresa Esparza. I'm Angel's mom. And, Your Honor, I would just like to say that at the beginning of this relationship, Matthew was an okay guy, but he was on medications. And as far as him abusing the medications, he was taking these pills and drinking on top of them. There was messages coming in on Angel's phone that I heard, and I mean, they're so bad that I can't even repeat what he had actually said. What Matthew did not know is that on this lien paper on this vehicle, my name was also on this lien. I am part owner of this vehicle. I have photos of the car.
Sir, your counterclaim $500 for harassment. How so?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. Ever since the accident has happened, they got in touch with one of my sergeants who actually wrote a statement here stating that every time that I've tried to help them out and get another vehicle, Ms. Locklear didn't want it because it wasn't the exact car, and that basically it's been hurting me at work because I'm constantly getting brought in the office, having to speak to my first sergeant, constantly having to speak to my commander about this issue when it's a personal affair.
Yeah, ma'am. Did you contact his place of employment?
No, sorry, I didn't. That was my mom.
I made those calls, Your Honor. It wasn't my daughter.
Before
she made the calls, Ms. Locklear would call me and let me know that she was trying to get me in trouble and have her mother call.
Young lady?
No, sir, that's not true.
It sounds like the principal person responsible is the one that made the call. You have to sue her mom, but she may have said that to you because she said some pretty nasty things in these text messages.
And those are also part of my countersuits because those are just recent, right around the time.
Do you have text messages from him?
Yes, I do, but I don't have them.
You don't have them?
No, sir.
I believe you sent her some nasty text messages too. Blank you piece of blank. That's why I was in Chris's arms last night while I slept. It's okay, I'll have Chris. You'll just come in handy for the child support. Oh. My baby already has a father, so she won't need your piece of blank anyways.
Your Honor, here I'm trying to help her out and find another vehicle, and this is what I get.
Matthew, that car that you planned on getting, it wasn't going to be in my daughter's name. It was going to be in your name.
And he could snatch that anytime he wanted to if it was in his name.
Exactly.
No doubt. $5,000 for the plaintiff. You've shown me the value of the car at the time of the accident and the estimates, so you're entitled to the judgment. Sir, I can't grant you the harassment judgment against her because it was her mom that called your job, but quite frankly, you would be entitled to a lot more than $500 if someone called your job and interfered with your place of employment. Good luck to you both. Have a good day.
Your Honor.
Unless he changes with his anger problem, there might be a chance, but as of right now, no.
I'd like to be there for my child and go ahead and change everything I need to so I can be there for the child and Angel.